Hey everybody, Sean Dotson here with the flip side. It is September 29th, 2018, and this is your weekend update. So once again, everybody, I'm down here at the Three Rivers Brewstery in Farmington, New Mexico, and I'm having a PBR. So just want to say cheers to all of you out there. Very good. So hopefully everybody is enjoying their Saturday afternoon, either out with the family or, watching your favorite college football game. And so if you're new to this show, this is where, I kind of recap everything that's gone on in the Fenn treasure hunt, community, whether that be on YouTube, whether that be on the forums or wherever else. So I just kind of go through everything that's happened throughout the week and kind of recap those things so that people that, maybe haven't had a chance to catch up on everything during the week and kind of watch this video and then find, what they find of interest and then go back and watch those things. So I've already posted down below the links to all the topics that I will be discussing this week or this today on the weekend update. So you can go through there and click what you like and easily find that channel and then find that specific video or on that forum what we're going to be talking about. So we'll jump right into it, folks, and just want to say hi to some of the early people that get in here. Davio22, he made it in first. It's beer o'clock. Yeah, you're right, Davio. How's everything out there in San Francisco in the California Bay Area? Fenn Treasure Hunter, there's Jason, my good friend Jason Dent, who's now out in Kansas, I believe. Jason, have you got everything wrapped up? You made it back to New Mexico, or are you still out there in Kansas? I'm not sure where you're at right now. And then Jim White, howdy. And a Kentucky Man, that's a new one. Kentucky Man, welcome aboard. It's a new name I haven't seen before, but welcome to the weekend update. So guys, we're just going to go ahead and kick it right off here. And I want to first off start, we go alphabetical. So the first person I'm going to talk about today is Arrowhead Junction, our good friend Joe Monday. But he put out several really fun videos here in the last week or so. One of them I thought that was really interesting this week was, kind of this, Bill Gorman versus DeCall Thomas debate. But he's put out several fun videos, the last couple of weeks. I think he's kind of finding his niche, playing Colonel Kurtz, so to speak. I think he's having a lot of fun with it. And Joe's just a lot of fun to listen to, and some of the rants and tangents he goes off on. So, Joe, I love watching your stuff. Great job out there, and keep the videos going. But obviously, his link is down in the description below. And if you haven't watched some of his videos, go check him out. Give him subscribe to his channel if you enjoy, so you can get updates and reminders that when he does put videos out. Next, we're going to move on to our good friends Shelly and Toby with a Gypsy's Kiss, or I like to call the Tipsy Gypsies. Cheers to you guys. But this week, they obviously do several videos throughout the week. But this Tuesday and Wednesday, they centered their topics around the 9 clues not in Forrest Fenn's poem. And if you haven't gone and watched their videos, you don't understand what this is talking about. Kind of the synopsis is they are talking about those things that are not found in the poem that we may believe are clues or really good hints that are outside of the poem. So they go into detail on Tuesday, and then with the panel show on Wednesday, they kind of go in there and more discussion with their panel members and stuff. So I think it's a great topic. Me as a poem purist, I like to stick with just the poem, but I like to use those things that are outside of the poem as kind of like checks and balances. Do these things make sense when we're trying to figure out the poem? Simple things like, is it above 5,000 feet or below 10,200 feet? Obvious things like that. It's not underwater or stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of good, what we would call hints or, boundaries that kind of narrow down, things that make sense, so to speak. So some good stuff there. Great topics. If you haven't gone back and watched those videos, highly suggest you go watch those 2 videos. Very good stuff from Toby and Shelly this week. On Thursday, they did their book club, which was centered around the chapter in The Thrill of the Chase, Dancing with the Millennium. This is the chapter, that Forrest Fenn talks about, him doing things other than watching Dancing with the Stars. So, which, his wife Peggy likes to do. So very good chapter, a lot of good, interesting stuff. A lot of people like that chapter and a lot of good information in there. So if that's something that interests you and you see subtle hints and stuff in that chapter, definitely go back and watch their video on that chapter in the book. I'm going to say hi to a couple more people in here. Craig Carter, how are you? Welder for Hire, AJ, how are you doing, brother? The best beard in the chase so far that we've seen. Like his stuff. Gary Sandberg, how are you? Totally not Mitzi. How are you, Mitzi? Good to see you. And Zozo Rocks, how are you? Paul, my brother from another mother across the pond. And I get to talk about Paul. Paul's came up with a really great idea this week, and I'm really looking forward to it. Paul, don't shave the beard. Keep it going, brother. We want to see what that looks like on you. You need more lighting in the kitchen there. But yeah, I could definitely tell you're wearing a beard. Now on Friday at a Gypsy's Kiss this week, they did their "It's All About You." This is their 13th, in a series, and this is with a searcher named Paul Ammons. And Paul Ammons, we got to learn a lot about Paul. Very interesting fellow. Had an interesting, event in his life that allowed him to retire very early, and he has a lot of fun doing what he does. And we got to know him and his search style and what he does. And it's very good to meet you, Paul, and get to know you. I know you're on the flip side of Forrest Fenn's Treasure Hunt, our Facebook page, and you are one of our members. So it's great to see you on there and get to know a little bit more about you. So if you haven't watched that, It's All About You, and you want to learn more about Paul and him, definitely go watch. They're very interesting gentlemen, very interesting aspect on the chase. I believe Paul has actually posted some stuff over on Harry's. And Paul, you can please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you've posted some stuff over at Harry's. Maybe it's the wrong Paul. I could be wrong, but I think you're the same. So please correct me if I'm wrong. And also on Friday, they obviously did last night, which was is called his Fandango, that he does his his call in, and he has people call into the show and ask questions, and he answers them and talks to the chat room. So very interesting, Friday thing that Toby's now putting on. I think it's great. I think it's very successful. People really enjoy it. I think it's a very good thing, something different that he's doing. So it's definitely, you can go back and you can watch it and catch what people are calling in and giving their questions. So good stuff. And I hope Toby keeps that up. I think it's a great show. Say out of the chat room again. Finding the Chest, how are you? No, you got everybody in there. Cheers. Now we're going to move on to, away from a Gypsy's Kiss. Next person I want to talk about is Mr. Bryce. And this is a kind of a new Fenn tuber. Mr. Bryce has done some stuff with the round table, so he's not necessarily new, but he started putting out a video, and he felt really compelled to put out a video about his interpretation of the poem. And he called it The Thrill of the Chase, Step by Step. And Mr. Bryce kind of breaks down, in a very short video, his interpretation of the poem. It's got some great thoughts in there. The link, I think I forgot to put in the description below because I almost overlooked it. And just before going on live today, I saw it and wanted to talk about it. So I will go back and put the link in there, post video, so you guys can find it. But he did a really short video, but he really did a good job of just, giving a synopsis of his interpretation of the poem. Definitely some good stuff, a good short video that you can catch up really quick. And we look forward to more stuff from Mr. Bryce, not only in the round table, but hopefully more videos as well. So good job, Mr. Bryce, and we look forward to more from you. Next, we'll talk about, the elephant in the room, Bill Gorman. Bill Gorman he put a video out called Return to the Fenn Zone. So, Bill Gorman has returned back to his search area and is back out. So we did a video again of him being out in his search area. So go check that out. I know he does a lot of fun stuff. He was on our, encore the week prior to, and we got to have a lot of fun with Bill and learning a little bit more about his search style and what he looks at. So great to see another video from Bill, and he's also partaked in the roundtable this week. Next, I'm going to move on to our good friend Eric Hull with the Blaze of Glory. And Eric put several videos out this week. One was a really short one where he kind of asked a question of all the search community to look at a photo of his. And he was questioning whether this is a pyramid or a rock cairn. And he just kind of wanted some feedback from everybody. So go check out that short video. And then there was another one where he had a picture of a bridge going over Beaver Creek up there in I think it's in the Montana or Wyoming area. I think it is Montana. But there was a strong box that was sitting on top of what looked like a flood gauge or something. And he was like, oh, my God, I can't believe I didn't notice it. So we didn't get an update whether he actually went out there and checked the strong box out. But we'd like to get an update from that and see what came of that. And then he did another video titled Weeds and Sage. So there is a link in the description down below to Blaze of Glory's channel, and you can go check out those videos from him. And he also partaked in our roundtable this week as well. Now I'm going to move on to our good friend Mike Cowlings with Calazars, his channel. But this week he's kind of collaborated with K-Pro, and they did a show this week called the Cow Powwow, which is kind of a show between Mike Cowlings and Christy K-Pro from the Hint of Riches Forum, where they're doing a show every Monday now at about 7 p.m. So he did that show on Monday, and then immediately after he does what's called the abduction. And kind of like the after party show, he does one immediately follow hers at 8 p.m. on Monday. And obviously he had, K-Pro on that show, and they talked about the chase and stuff. And the link is down below to Mike's show. But he also, on Thursdays, he's now doing a show titled, Coffee with Calazars. And that's on Thursdays at 7 p.m. So it's like we got the whole week full now, guys, except for the weekend. Well, Sunday maybe. But, we've got shows out throughout the week for you guys, which is great. I think is awesome. So go check out, Mike Cowling's show, not only with K-Pro, but also his 2 shows that he's doing on Monday and then Thursday now. So great stuff. Next, I'm going to move on to a really quick short one. We've had a new individual that showed up on our on my Facebook group called Cherokee Buffalo. And I don't know if this is the same person, but she put out a really short video called Worth the Cold. And I don't know if this is her, but I put the link in the description below and you can go see it. But she calls it Worth the Cold. And I don't know what she did, but Cherokee Buffalo, I don't know if you're in here, if you're watching this later or on Facebook, you can tell me if that was you or not. But she did put a short video out that I think is the same person. Oh, there's Mrs. Dodson. My wife is now showing up in the chat room, and she's going to give away all my secrets, apparently. Cheers, babe. Love you. She was going to come down here today with me, but our son is recovering from kind of a exploratory surgery he went through, so she wasn't able to come down with me tonight or today. Next, I'm going to move on to Dal Neitzel, or the home of baloney, as Man in the Barn likes to call it, Brian. But Dale, this week on his site, we did get scrapbook 190, which we like to call 3 sheets to the wind, apparently. But it's just a joke. But apparently the synopsis of the whole story is that sometime back in the 80s or 70s, him and Eric Sloan had taken a bunch of sheets out to the Taos Pueblo and left them based on some historical information. I don't want to give everything away, but it's kind of a fun scrapbook, a little bit of fun that it seems like, Forrest and Eric Sloan were having back in the 80s or whenever it was, with the Taos Pueblo Indians. But a fun story. Go back and read that. There's a lot of interpretation. Everybody's thinking there's, some kind of hints or clues in that. And who knows, maybe there is. I personally don't believe so, but maybe it's a nod to us all being 3 sheets to the wind, apparently, throughout the week and all these shows we're doing. And then also there was a solve thread that was put out there too, called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Canyon. And this came out by a searcher by the name of FMC. So you can go check that one out. I believe it is a Wyoming solve that you can go check out. But that's also on Dale Neitzel's site, and the links are in the description down below that you can go check those out. Next, I want to move on to Fenn Treasure Hunters, our good friends Sasha and Jason Dent. Well, they're not married yet, so it's Sasha Johnson and Jason Dent. We say married yet. I don't know. Is there going to be a ring on that finger? What's going on, guys? We're going to get an announcement? But they did do the Saturdays with Sasha, and they had Copper Dan on there with them. And they also, this Tuesday, for whatever reason, Jason, I think, was with family and stuff out there in Kansas. So he delayed putting his show on Tuesday. So they didn't have a Tuesday show this week. So we're looking forward to hopefully tonight that they will be having a show. I think, Jason, you're in the chat room here. Are you guys doing a show Saturday, or what's going on? Hi, Goldilocks. I see you there. David, there's my search partner, David. Uh-oh, David and my wife are talking. This ought to get interesting. Whatever keeps the BP down. Oh, the blood pressure down. Yeah. Got to keep that blood pressure down, David. I just totally not Mitzi with the ring. Hi, Goldilocks. At least you didn't tease me with the ocean this week, Goldilocks, on your video. I appreciate that. Thank you. I miss the ocean. I love the ocean. You did say you're on the East Coast, so we can confirm that. I'm a West Coast guy, so I grew up around Goat Rock and all the whole West Coast there, from like Fort Bragg all the way down to basically Santa Barbara. So moving on, where was I? Finn Treasure Hunter. Next, I'm going to talk about Jenny Kyle and Mysterious Writings. This week, she did put out a video that kind of recapped everything about the little girl from India, and everything from, the 6 questions in 2016, where Jenny Kyle, brought up or invented the whole little girl from India, to the most recent, Helen Keller and little girl from India teaming up, So she did a really good job of recapping all the different, quotes and mentions of the little girl from India. And I think there's been a resurgence of talk of the little girl from India, even about this, the whole roundtable with the what versus where. And there's been some stuff on the Hint of Riches and other forums bringing her back up. So that little girl from India just won't go away. Isn't she like a teenager by now? Shouldn't she be big enough to, do whatever she wants to do? She can get her driver's license now. I don't know how old you have to be in India to get your driver's license. Anyway, but a really good recap video from Mysterious Writings. The link is in the description down below, so go watch it. It's a short video, about 6 minutes long, so you should be able to catch up on it really quick and have all the different quotes that are out there. Hi, Jay Diggins. Good to see you there. Jamie, how are you? Hope that you and your husband, is it Bill, I believe, or you guys are adjusting well. And I guess the rumor is you're buying some property out here in New Mexico, I heard. That's great. I hope that sometime I'll get a chance to meet you and your husband. Stavio 22 still in here. Oh, yeah. Got a good crowd in here today. Again, I know it's in the middle of the day. This is what works out best for our family. It's not in the evenings where it's probably accessible to most people. Most people are doing things with their family and stuff this time of the day, but this is what works best for our family routine and stuff. So I know a lot of you people are watching this on the replay, which is great too. We'll say hi to you guys. I got to say hi to the kids. Everybody say hi to Bradley, Branch, and Jordan back home. Hi, we love you. See you guys in a little bit. Next, we're going to move on to Man Alone. And Man Alone this week did a video titled Too Far to Walk and Water High. And he kind of Man Alone gave his interpretation of those two, phrases found within the poem and what he believes too far to walk and what water high is. So if those are things that you're very curious about and you like Man Alone, which I think a lot of people do like him, go watch his video on that. I think he put a couple of other short videos out there as well. I think that, I kind of joke about them. They kind of remind me of the Saturday Night Live, Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy type videos. So I keep thinking I'm going to do a parody on Man Alone with, Deep Thoughts with the flip side or something like that. Somebody else, if you like the idea, run with it. I don't think I'm going to have time with everything else I got going on. I think Jason Dent would probably be a good person to do that with his whole Saturday Night Live, thank you letters that he did a while back, which is a lot of fun. And we need Jason, come on, man, bring that whole thank you letters back out. And then if you do yours, maybe I'll do some welcome letters. We'll have fun with it. But anyway, so if somebody likes that idea, run with it. Do some Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy type stuff. I think it'll be fun. Next, I'm going to move on to the Fenn Tuber Nobody, No One. And this is a guy I've talked about a couple of times before, where he's done a little bit of, grammatic breakdown of some of the, some of the key lines and sentences in the poem. But this week he did one that was titled Part 3, Overlook. And he kind of did a breakdown of, if I remember right, I think it was the first stanza, but Nobody, I kind of lost you a little bit in this one. It seemed like you didn't have your thoughts, ready for this one. It just seemed like you were kind of all over the place on this one. So you kind of lost me on this one. Your first two were great. I kind of understood where you were going with this last one. I kind of lost you, but that's just me. I'm not saying somebody else won't pick up something on it, but the link is in the description down below and you guys can go check this out for yourselves. Gay Delkin, I see you in there. Eugene, how are you? Good to see you. Cheers. So next I'm going to move on to Paul, which I know is in the chat room today. Now, I did kind of hint to the fact that Paul came up with a great new idea. And if some of you don't know already, Paul looks like he's trying to come up with a Brit only show. our videos. And I think this is a great idea. We've obviously got Britt Chaser and Jonathan Johnson, I think is his name. And then we've got Paul. And I think there might be a couple others out there that I might not be thinking of right away. But I think that's a great idea, that you're going to come out with some kind of show with just our brothers from another mother across the pond over there. Man, I think that's awesome. I highly anticipate that and look forward to it. So, man, put something together and go live with it, or just do whatever you want to do and just have fun. Like I tell everybody, guys, we take ourselves way too serious in this whole thing. We should just relax and have more fun. I think that's what, Mike Cowlings and Capo are doing, kind of like we're doing on the after party show. We just kind of let our hair down, have a good time. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what, our Brit brothers come up with over there. So Paul, tell us some more, give us some more teasers. When are you going to do this? Do you guys have a plan? Are you doing this with Brit Chaser? Do you have some other friends that you know of that are Brit guys that are going to join you, or girls, or birds, as you like to call them? I think, I look forward to seeing what you got going on there. So give us another teaser. Tell us what's going on, man. I'm highly anticipating, looking forward to that, because then you guys will pick out your own time, because you guys are like 8 or 9 hours ahead of us. So you'll be doing it at 2:00 our time. We'll all have to set our alarms just to watch your show. So that'll be fun. Virgil Kane is my name. How are you doing? I see you jumped in there. Joe with Fox Gaming, I see you jumped in there too. We got Marty Kreis, which is Diggin' Gypsy is in. Diggin', good to see you in here. Next, I'm going to move on to the Raven's Nest, which we all know is our good friend Christy, or K-Pro. She started her new show this last week called, she's titling it Monday Musings or something along that lines. And she's doing, it's the Cow Pow Wow, not Monday Musings, where her and Mike Cowlings are doing their collaboration. So this week they had, Copper Dan and Jason Eunice on there. So they're kind of giving a kind of an artistic tribute, both Jason and Copper Dan being kind of metalsmiths and working with metal and stuff. So I thought that was a great job of both, Mike and Capro putting that show together with Jason and Paul. And Jason's a lot of fun, and getting to know Copper Dan is obviously great too. So if you haven't watched their show, go back and watch it. They do a great job. We've had a lot of fun with both Mike and Christy. They're always fun to have on the after party show. We just a great bunch of folks, and now I'm going to talk about RF Hecky, our good friend Susie. She actually did a live show last night. I don't know if some of you caught it after Toby's, his Findago show, his 800 live call-in, where RF Hecky went live immediately after. And I was doing some show prep for today, and I just threw RF Hecky on there and was listening to her and having fun with her. And she's just so fun to listen to. She's so laid back and has such a great time. But this week she put out a lot of videos. I mean, a lot of videos. What she's doing, what I think is really cool, is she started to go through the chapters of Too Far to Walk. She just recently got the book, so she's kind of reading it along and going over this and giving some good interpretations and thoughts on the different chapters. And she's kind of segregating from the preface all the way to the different chapters. And I think she's up to like chapter 8 or something at this point in time. So we look forward to more from Susie. But I like her doing her live shows. It's a lot of fun. She just totally unscripted, and she just has a good time with it and kind of listens to the chat and gives some input and stuff. So I love seeing these live shows. I think, Bill Gorman and, Jason, Dan, and Toby Eunice kind of really started off doing these live shows, and it's just kind of really spurred into, and the reason why I started doing them was because of people like Jason and Bill and Toby doing them. And it was just much easier because you didn't have to do all this video editing and stuff. You could just roll with it. So a lot of props to those people. And now it's inspiring others, not only with the round table, but other people putting out live shows, because they're just really easy to do. Rodney Greenway does a good job with doing his shows, and everybody else. So I think it's just a lot more raw. It's a lot more natural. And you get to know the person, without all this script and everything else. So I really like it. So good job, Susie, for putting out your live video last night. I had fun listening to you and participating a little bit as I was prepping for the show. And then speaking of Rodney Greenway, that's who I'm going to talk about next. I like to call him Man in the Car. We have me, Man in the Bar. We have Man in the Kitchen, who's Paul. We have Man in the Barn, which is Brian. And now we have Man in the Car. We need a woman in something, apparently. One of you girls, we're going to have to say it. But Rodney Greenway, Man in the Car. But he put out, his videos are usually titled Finn Treasure Thoughts, but he put out 2 of them this last week. He says, why make videos and other heated car ride rants. And then another one he put out, thoughts that keep me awake. So a couple of great videos from Rodney. And I don't want to take anything away from his videos. I want you to go watch them and get some of his thoughts. But, it's usually in his car ride when he's going to and from work, and he just kind of talks about the chase and just random stuff. So I think he does a good job of that. Again, it's just totally unscripted and just listening to another searcher's thoughts. Sometimes you can pick up something great from that. So great job again to Rodney for putting those shows out. Cheers to everybody out there. Hey, Journeyman, I see you dropped in there. How are you? Who else we jump in here? Good to see you guys all chatting amongst each other. Next, I'm going to talk about our good friend Rambling Pam. Rambling Pam this week put out a couple of videos. One, she did a kind of a slideshow video synopsis of her being there at the Jay Diggins raffle there on September 6th. So it's good to see, recap somebody else's pictures and see some of the pictures they took of the individuals and some short videos and stuff in there. And then she also did a short video on her adventures there in Chama on the Cumbers and Toltec Railroad. This is the railroad. It's a narrow gauge railroad that runs from Chama, New Mexico, all the way up to Antonito, Colorado. But she did, a video on that and shows you some of the scenery and ongoings in there. So right in kind of my neck of the woods. So I love that. I've never actually rode that railroad. We've ridden the Durango-Silverton railroads several times, but we've never taken the kids up to, or any of the family up there on the Chama Railroad. No, we've been through Chama several times. We've just never taken that one. So if you're interested in that and like that area, I mean, a great video. I think Rambling Pam and her husband do a great job of putting their videos together, editing them, and give a little history and, their take on the area. So Pam, as always, your videos are top notch. Keep them up. Definitely go subscribe to our channel and give them likes, guys. It does a wonderful job. Next is our search friend, Sir Crow. And Sir Crow put out a video titled, Thank You, Forrest Fenn, and then searching for the treasure. And he does a quick synopsis, a little bit of his search there in the, I think it's the Bear Trap Canyon area of Montana. And this is an area I've kind of looked at myself too, because I kind of looked at, Lake Ennis or Ennis Lake as being where Warm Waters Halt, because Lake Ennis is a very shallow lake. And because it is so shallow, it tends to heat up much quicker. So it's quote unquote warm waters. So it's definitely a good one. Then you will have an obvious canyon, which is the Bear Trap Canyon that goes down. So he kind of gives a synopsis of his search in that area. And Sir Crow is obviously partaked in the roundtable, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So that kind of wraps up everything that that I'd seen gone on in the both the YouTube universe and kind of on the forums this week. So some good stuff that obviously partake. And of course, guys, I don't catch everything. So if there's something that I missed, please email me or say something in the chat room here, guys. I try and catch everything, but obviously it's there's so much going on in the search community these days. And as we're going into the off season for most searchers here soon, I tell you, that stuff's going to ramp up. The chatter is going to become more. There's going to be more talk and more things going on. A lot of people think it calms down. No, the off season is when people really get to talking more and more. Information gets flowing, because during the search season, everybody's out there and they're holding tight to all their stuff that they talked about during the off season, at least in my opinion. So we're going to start ramping up here a little bit more. We'll probably see more FenTubers come out. We'll probably see more chatter on the forums, more ideas thrown out there. So it'd definitely be interesting this off season, since so far it hasn't been found based on Forrest Fenn's gut feeling, right? Cheers. So, this is where, folks, I kind of move into, off-topic stuff. I talk about my opinion piece. I go into some other, off-color stuff. So if all you're interested in is just kind of getting the update, this is where you can kind of shut the video off and move on. But one thing I want to talk about, and we were laughing the other night on the, I think it was the encore for the after party show about, Forrest Fenn tattoos and stuff. So I thought maybe we could come up with a new contest about trying to come up with a Forrest Fenn tattoo design. We've had the coin design. Maybe we can come up with a Forrest Fenn tattoo design. So we'll throw it out there to one of the forums, Thor, if they want to pick this up or whatever, it can just be a big joke. We could have fun with it, but who knows? And then we'll dare people to, if you say you know where the treasure is and then you don't find it, you got to get this tattoo or something on your butt or wherever. Just be a joke. We'll have fun with it. We'll do the Bill Gorman double blazes tattoo or something. We'll just have fun with it. I don't know. Maybe somebody will pick this up and run with it, but just an idea. We'll throw it out there and we'll go with it. So now I want to kind of about the opinion piece. I just really wanted to. I'm still trying to. This roundtable thing's been kind of fun. And I think a lot of people are enjoying it. I think we had 20 or some odd, videos this week show up, and I'll give. I'll just go ahead right now and talk about these people. But a good friend, Chris Bettles, from Australia, he put out his interpretation this week. And if you don't know this, guys, you can go over to my channel, the flip side of Forrest Fenn's Treasure Hunt. And one of the first things I have in there is what I call my playlists. And you can see a playlist in there will be TTOTC number or roundtable number 2, the first stanza. And there's like 20 videos. One will have the initial launch video, which is where I say, okay, this is going to be the subject, reiterate the guidelines or whatever you want to call them. And then we launch it off. And then there's the 20 some odd videos after that. So you can go to that playlist and it'll show each person's video. Now, when you watch the playlist, you can watch it all the way through, or you can pick out your favorite FinTube or whatever and just watch their interpretation. But just to let everybody know, it does go to their channel. That person does get the view. If you like that channel, you're subscribed to it. It does go to that individual FinTuber channel, not mine or anything like that. That playlist is just there, so it puts them all in one spot. I mean, you could do an easy search, in your YouTube search window, say roundtable number 2, and it'll generally pull most of them up. You might have to go like 3 or 4 channels or 3 or 4 pages to find them all, but the playlist is there so that you can easily find them all. Now, any one of the FinTubers, you guys can do that on your own channel. If you want to create a playlist, you can put the same kind of playlist. It's not hard to do, honestly. It took just a few minutes to kind of figure it out. But you can put that playlist together and you can advertise it yourself. So that, if you have Gypsy's Kiss or Fin Treasure Hunter or K Pro or Calazar is your favorite FinTuber, then you can go to their channel and you can look at their playlist and find it just as easy as well. But I put that playlist together so everybody can go to one spot. You can find them and then go through each and every one of them. So I'll just real quick hit on all the different ones. Again, I mentioned Chris Bettles, our friend from Australia. He was up there in Seattle, and he did his, his first stanza roundtable number 2 interpretation. Sakar, which is not new to the community. He's been in a lot of the chat rooms and talking, but he put out his first video, which is his interpretation of the first stanza. Goldilocks, who I know is in the chat room today, she did put out her, first stanza interpretation. Welder for Hire, which I know is also AJ, which is also in the chat room today. And I like to say he's got the best beard in the business right now. And I don't know, he's a welder. I don't know how you keep that thing underneath your mask and keep that thing from getting all burned up. I think I was joking with the call about that. But he put out his first video, as kind of a new FinTuber out there. But he put his first video out there in his interpretation of the first stanza. Joe Monday from Arrowhead Junction put out his interpretation. Rodney Greenway, who we all know, also put out his first stanza interpretation. Eric Hall with The Blaze of Glory put out his. He didn't title it exactly as we requested, but I was able to find it and put it in there. But he did put out his first stanza interpretation. Joe Fox, our good friend Joe, who I know is in the chat room today and was actually on our encore the other night, he put out his interpretation. And it was great meeting Joe. I like to call him the Joe Namath of the search community. I don't think he agreed with me, but he kind of looks like a younger Joe Namath. And I thought that was kind of funny. We joked with him on the encore on that one. Robert Johnson also put out his interpretation of the first stanza. This is his second. He was involved in the first one, but now put out his second one. Shannon Oots, who we all know with The Odious Soul, she put out her interpretation. Sir Crow, who I talked about earlier, he also put out his first stanza interpretation. My good friend DeCall Thomas and fellow Flipside panel member put out his interpretation of the first stanza. DeCall, you owe us a minute and 38 seconds, brother. You went over. So I'm going to give you heck just like I gave Toby heck for going over. Cheers, brother Thomas. Our good friend Rick McDonald, Illinois Ghost, he put out his first stanza interpretation. And he had on the whole new intro into his videos and stuff, which was really cool. So you just got to go watch his video for his new interpretation. He's got a great green screen, does some good stuff, and he does some good video editing. So I like what he's doing. I'm just not that computer savvy, guys. I like try and keep it simple. But great job, Illinois Ghost, on your new intro and stuff. I like it. Our good friend Journeyman, who's in the chat today, he put out his interpretation, but he also mentioned that I guess his computer took a dump on him and he lost like 5 years worth of research and writings and stuff. So man, brother, I feel for you. But I think you even said in your video, it kind of gives you a fresh new start and new eyes at looking at everything again. So, everything happens for a reason. We always say those things when something bad happens, but you never know. Maybe something great will come out of that for you. And maybe somebody in the chat room or one of our searcher friends might be able to give them some advice on maybe how to recover that information. I don't know. It's definitely not my cup of tea. I can't figure that stuff out. But Journeyman did put his first interpretation out there. Great job. Redneck Express put out his interpretation of the first stanza, and he was involved in the first one. Now the second one. That's great. Toby Eunice, obviously, he put out his first stanza interpretation. We referred back to an older video that him and Shelly put out. Shelly, we'd still love to see a video from you and hearing from you, because I know you and Toby don't always, agree on everything. So we'd love to see something from you as well. We'll keep poking at you, see if we can get you to put something out. And of course, our good friend Bill Gorman put out a video as well. He put out his interpretation of the first stanza. So again, we had 20 different individuals putting out their interpretations and getting involved with the roundtable. I think this is a lot of fun. It's something different. It gives everybody a chance to once again put out their interpretation. Then everybody, that can go back and watch different searchers' interpretations and know there was a few people that it kind of had somewhat similar interpretations, of the first stanza, but I don't think any two interpretations were exactly alike. So there was a lot of stuff that I learned from some other searchers, and then hopefully some other searchers learn from other people. So I think it's a lot of fun, and we'll keep going with this. Again, I've asked, Christy K-Pro to put a thread over there on the Hint of Riches that you can put in your suggestions for, the round table, questions that you'd like to see people answer, or interpretations, or whatever you'd like. So you can do that there, or you can put it in the comments sections of this video, or if you're a member of the Flip Side of Forrest Fenn's Treasure Hunt Facebook group, you can go over there and put in your suggestions, and if you're not a member of that, definitely go over and ask to become a member of that group. I don't tell anybody no, and we'll get you in there, and we'll welcome you aboard, and you can put your suggestions in there. So guys, that pretty much wraps everything up. Again, I'm just going to look at the chat room over here and kind of catch up with everybody, see if there's any questions in there. I think you guys are just doing a good job at chatting with yourself. I see one, Virgil Kane, winter's my name. Winter in Iowa sucks. Thank God for the chase, right? Yeah. Keep you going during those cold winter months for sure. Yeah, we had a good group in here. Journeyman doing fresh start. Yeah, I mean, if you lost all that information, I can definitely emphasize with that. That would completely suck. But maybe a fresh start will get something going in your head, and thinking some new thoughts. I mean, that was a big part of me burning my book was, just saying heck with the book and going just strictly with the poem and trying to figure stuff out from the poem. And that was probably one of the best things that I did for myself in my search. I mean, I can't prove that it's come up with anything until David and I find this, if we do. Oh, Sean Martinez is in. Hey, Sean. So yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps everything up, and I like to keep this short and to the point. So just want to say thank you to everybody that did show up this afternoon on a Saturday, and hope that you've enjoyed this video and your weekend update. Oh, and I keep forgetting, this whole new content about talking about, what's coming up this week. So we'll start right off tomorrow at some point. I'll put out a live video. I haven't really come up with the time. Again, guys, the weekend is really from our family, but it may be late tomorrow evening. where I'll come up with the roundtable number 3 topic, and then we'll roll with that, guys. It doesn't mean that you can't put out. I mean, we had, Brit Chaser just this week put out his, his response to roundtable number 1. So it doesn't matter. There's no deadline on those roundtables. You can put them out whatever you want. I'm just kind of keeping with the flow and seeing how this thing goes. So we'll put out a roundtable number 3 topic tomorrow, and then we'll roll with that. But that doesn't mean if you haven't put out your roundtable number 2, it doesn't mean you can't put it out. If you haven't put out a roundtable number 1, you can still put it out. I'll find it and I'll put it in the playlist, and people can find it. So tomorrow, expect the roundtable topic number 3 to come out. And then Monday night, I should say Monday afternoon, Toby Eunice will be putting out his lineup for the week. He usually puts that out about 1 p.m. And then at 7 p.m., the Ravens Nest with K-Pro and Mike Callens will come out. They'll do their show. And then immediately following that, Cal Lazars will go over to his channel and do what he's calling the abduction. So he'll have his show. And then let me backtrack here really quick. Tonight, and I didn't see if Jason confirmed this or not, I believe him and Sasha will be doing at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll be doing their Saturdays with Sasha, so make sure you catch that. And then now moving ahead to Tuesday, then we expect the Fenn Treasure Hunters to be doing their Tuesday night live chat. So we'll look for that at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then man, I got to write this down. But then Tuesday around 1 o'clock, we should get a show from Toby. And then 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we should get the Fenn Treasure Hunters doing their live Tuesday chat. My wife just sent me a Facebook message. I'm not gonna go over that until I can confirm that information. But then Tuesday, maybe we'll have a show with. I'm getting breaking news. Goldilocks is just saying that they broke up. Don't know if that's true or not. I mean, it's hearsay. I'll wait till I hear that directly from Sasha and Jason, but I'm hoping that's not true. If that's true, okay. We'll keep that off to the side. But Jason, I don't know if that's true. Are we still going to have a Tuesday show? Or are you guys just going to, hold off? Let's figure out what's going on and let you guys figure that out. We'll see. Wednesday, Toby will then be doing his 7 p.m. panel discussion. So Monday we should get whatever that topic is. And then, of course, immediately following A Gypsy's Kiss, you'll have, the after party with the Flip Side. That is your favorite non-PC beer drinking, thrill of the chase talking show, often imitated but never duplicated. Wink. But you'll have that after party show immediately following A Gypsy's Kiss. And then Thursday, we will have, we also have at the 1 o'clock, we'll have A Gypsy's Kiss. Will be doing their book club on the next chapter. And then we will also have for Shelley Carney. I know it's not Thrill of the Chase stuff related, but Shelley Carney is a good friend of the show, and she will be doing her softer side on Thursday if you're watching that. And then also Thursday evening, Mike Callings will be doing his Coffee with Calazar's show at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Then we move on to Friday. Toby will be doing his Friday It's All About You. We should have the 14th iteration of that. I don't know who that's going to be just yet. And then at 7 p.m., starting thereabouts, he'll be doing his Fendago, his 800 live call-in. You can text in, everything else. I wish I had that number. Maybe I should come up with that and know it off heart so I can give it to you guys ahead of time so you can send in your text messages or your put in your voicemails and stuff. But that's a great show, guys. You got to watch that. It's fun to call in. I haven't personally done that yet. Maybe I'll call in and have some fun with Toby. And then we get right back into, again, the weekend update next week. And then the, Jason, hopefully maybe coming up at a new Saturday show or something. So, guys, so that's kind of your lineup for what's coming up this week. And hope that you've enjoyed the weekend update. I hope that you guys find some value in that. If you do, please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, all those different YouTube channels and everybody that we've talked about in forums, go check out those things, give them some comments, give them some likes, everything else. So been a lot of fun. I enjoy doing this with you guys. Again, I started doing this show just because I wanted to give back to the community, wanted to have some fun with this. I enjoy partaking in this, so it's kind of fun, just trying to find where it fits with my family and trying to do it. I know I've always tried making this somewhat predictable for you guys, but things change. We all have families. We'll have to make things work, but we'll try and keep this at Saturday at 1 p.m. For us. And if things change, then I will give you guys an update, let you know if something changes. So it's been a lot of fun, been real. And I appreciate you guys in the chat room coming out and hang out with us on a Saturday. So just want to say thank you to you guys. If you like the channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a comment. Again, I'm looking for suggestions. I want it to be community driven for this roundtable. So I look forward to your guys' suggestions. Got a couple ideas in mind. Something that's really, really been a big hot topic again is what Jason Dent has brought up with his Q&A with Forrest Fenn about the one good clue that we could think of ourselves, but we haven't. I think that might be, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now, as being the roundtable topic. So, leave me a comments below. Go on my Facebook page, and leave me some comments what you think about that. But that's kind of probably the top thing that I'm thinking about putting for the roundtable discussion this week. So anyway, guys, been great talking with you again today. Paul, I see you in there, brother. I think that's what's got me the most excited this week, is you giving us that update that there might be a Brit only show. So man, that's got me excited. I'm really looking forward to that. So hopefully you can work that out. If you need some help or advice, shoot me an email. Again, Sean, that's SEANNM @hotmail.com. Shoot me an email, brother. If I can help you out with anything, or any of us other FinTubers can help you out, I'm sure we'll be more than willing to help you guys out. Probably don't need it, but if we can help you out in any way, we will give you whatever advice we can help you out with, brother. So, but that's been the one thing that's had me really excited. And here I go rambling on. But anyway, guys, it's been a lot of fun. I want to get back to the family, and we'll catch you all on the flip side. Thanks, guys. We'll see you. Have a great week.